Hello and welcome to Bespoke Unit. I'm CP and in this video I'm reviewing Captain Morgan Spiced Gold. Possibly named after Sir Henry Morgan, who was a privateer before becoming the Lieutenant Governor of Jamaica, Captain Morgan is technically not a rum. Well, at least the Spiced Gold isn't. I believe the dark or black rum is, but this is a spirit drink. It's not a rum, technically, but it is derived from molasses-based rum and is produced in the US Virgin Islands. Sir Henry Morgan didn't look anything like this. In fact, this drawing was created by a cartoonist called Don Maitz, who actually made Captain Morgan so famous and aided invaluably to its marketing. Anyway, let's get on with the review. So technically speaking, if you are going to call it a rum, this is going to be a flavored rum. The aging of the rums that were used, I have no idea. There's no information regarding that, but I do know that they were probably aged in American oak casks. So let's get straight in with the Robe. So here we have somewhat hazy colored drink. It doesn't really let the light through very easily. It isn't very bright. We're looking at some heavy residue as well when we rub it against the fingers, which goes to show the additives that were added to make it. Then again, that is to be expected. After all, it is a spiced rum. That is the whole purpose of its existence, is that it is mixed and steeped with various herbs, spices, and of course caramel and sugar. In fact, the bottle actually brags that it was made using natural aromas or natural flavorings, but that really doesn't mean much. In terms of legs, they're going to be fast and thin, and if you want to add a drop of water to it to test its visometric potential, you are not going to get many whirls, as this is chill filtered in its production. Next, we'll be talking about the nose. So, as I've noted here on the rum reviewer, we're looking at quite a prickly nose feel. You're going to get some of these spices, of course, mostly cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla that just softens it up, but there's also some coconut in there, and those are the three most distinctive notes, although you are going to get some other spices. It's not overly rich in the nose, the bouquet isn't overly intense, the diversity is going to be limited really just to spices. It's not crazy complex, but there is some lucidity. You can get the notes and pick them out quite easily. And next, we're going to give this a taste. So, bottoms up. Very sweet primary flavor. Not overly sweet. There is some savoriness that doesn't make it too cloying. Very oily mouthfeel. It opens up with some nutmeg and caramel. The nutmeg is very distinctive, very rich. And then once we move into the heart, those two fade to reveal some clove, a bit of gingerbread, some aniseed, before we come to a finish, which is basically cinnamon coming back. The cinnamon is very rich, quite drying on the palate, with a hint of vanilla, which will just soften it a little bit. The finish is actually quite long. You get a good bit of spice that keeps on delivering, and it's actually very Moorish. It's quite pleasant. I'm not gonna lie, this is quite easy to drink. Although again, purists would argue that it's not technically a rum, and that's absolutely fine as well. This is actually destined for a different purpose, which is basically cocktails, but we'll get to that in a second. The complexity isn't insane. The texture is going to be kind of more on the rough side, especially like that when the cinnamon comes in, it does grate a little bit on the palate. It's very youthful in flavor. You don't get much maturity here. It's not very deep. There's not much depth either. Next, moving on to the experience. So looking at the label here, very classic label with very distinctive, not Captain Morgan on the front. It's a nice design with the ship that's pressed into the glass at the back. And in terms of packaging, there isn't any. And then the cork, you're looking at just a regular metal screw top. In terms of value for money, you're looking at about $30 in the USA for a bottle of spiced rum, whereas in France or in Europe, you're looking at about 15 euros. It offers great value, it's inexpensive, and it's very easy to drink neat, with ice, or as part of a cocktail. But as for the occasions, this is far from a premium drink. This isn't at all something that is going to be seen among connoisseurs as something that is particularly exclusive or premium. So it's best suited to really casual drinking, or even at a cocktail bar. There it sort of blends in absolutely fine. When talking about pairings, and this is just a consideration we have, you're not going to see it there, let's put it in the shade. This is just something that we have at the bottom right-hand corner. It's not scored as part of the rum reviewer. It's just a thought exercise. So really, I wouldn't consider this for pairings. This isn't something that you're probably going to have with a meal. You could cook with it to produce things like a rum baba or part of a pound cake. But if you do really want to have a pairing, milk chocolate would be very nice. It'll add some creaminess to the mouthfeel and make it much, much easier to drink neat. Otherwise, consider it as a cocktail ingredient, which I've included under pairings because really it's the most appropriate place, but things like a pina colada or a dark and stormy would be your best bets. You could also potentially consider it for a mojito, but that's going to take away from the other distinctive characteristics. If you want to use like a gold rum, that would be absolutely fine. It could add complexity to mojito. So on that occasion, I probably opt for something like a Bacardi Calta Oro. It's going to be much more pleasant, and you could also use some brown sugar instead of white sugar, and that can really add some depth to your mojito, but it's going to be a very, very different mojito. Alternatively, you could include it as part of a mule, so enjoy it with some ginger ale. That would be a great option as well. And then a Bespoke Unit, we're very fond of cigars here, so I would suggest basically a nice balanced cigar, nothing that is too heavy, nothing too mild. You want really middle of the road in terms of flavor and body. So for example, the Ashton Heritage is a cigar that we reviewed not long ago. This is a very good option in that it offers nice balanced flavors, some spices as well, which will marry quite well with the spiced rum. Alternatively, consider things like an Oliva Série V or even a Plasencia Reserva Original. Avoid things that are like a Connecticut cigar, which is going to be very creamy. It's going to be very mild. That will probably clash. It will be actually, its flavors will be stifled by the rum. And meanwhile, don't go for anything too spicy. Something that's too full-bodied will then do the reverse and actually smother the flavors of the rum. Overall, Captain Morgan Spiced Gold, if you go on any sort of dedicated rum website, they are going to be less than appreciative of its characteristics and its flavor. But then again, it's never been made as a premium rum. It doesn't even try to be one. It tries to evoke the sort of pirate style, but it's basically a spiced rum that you can enjoy as part of a cocktail. You can drink it neat. It's absolutely fine. They're quite Moorish, like I said. I will probably have a few more sips after this video while editing it. But otherwise, it's nothing that is going to be at all cloying or offensive. It's not hard to drink whatsoever. Anyway, that's all from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and leave us a comment if you have any questions about Spiced Gold, or if you'd like to share your own experiences, or even give us your own thoughts, especially if they disagree with mine and you really want to contribute to a discussion. We're always up for that here at Bespoke Unit. Until our next video, why don't you check out bespokeunit.com and see all the other lifestyle subjects that we cover. I'm sure that there'll be something else that you will love.